Hey team, great to see you guys again this week. We've got some neat stuff to cover with you today, and really looking forward to covering some updates with you. Before we get started, we actually have a pretty neat little article that I want to share with you guys, and we'll kick the link in with this video, or we'll email it to you or Slack you. We had an article in the news. Juan Martinez, one of our drivers, he had a near-death experience, and it's not how you would have imagined. A bizarre infection became pretty unbearable for him, and Juan lost his vision and became non-responsive when the general manager, Evan Scheimel, and his team at Petro in Kingman, Arizona, saved his life. Juan was in the hospital recovering. Joe Morrissey, his dispatcher, really played an essential part in his recovery, and we're really grateful for you, Juan. I'm very thankful that you came out of this strong, and I know that the best is yet to come. So send him some love, reach out to him, and I know we're doing something special for Evan at that Petro, and Juan, we're really excited about what the future has for you, so get better, and we're glad to have you out on the road here soon. We're gonna go ahead and hop into this past week's numbers. And before we go over the top 3 drivers last week, I just wanna say this about how our program works and how our dispatching squad works in the small pod dispatching. We do not play favorites. We have no interest in getting some people better loads than other people. Everybody in our company, all of our dispatchers are paid 100% commission. So our dispatchers want you to make as much money as physically possible. In fact, our dispatchers probably want you working when you don't even want to be working. We absolutely have a bias to help you make as much money as possible. So when we go over some of these numbers, I'm sharing these numbers with you so you can see what's possible, and so you can ask your dispatcher, hey, how do I make that amount of money? And I'll tell you, it's guys that are staying out for 2 weeks at a time, sometimes 3. We don't like people staying out longer than that. And people that are just chill with the loads that we give them. We've got some data we'll go over here and we'll show you, but we have a system, and we have a system that works. And the more that we can work together as a team, the more that you'll find that your revenue goes up. And if you're gonna be working, you know, you might as well be making as much money as possible. So last week, week 2029, top 3, number 1 is Clint Fountain. I don't know if it's Fountain or Fountain. Clint, congratulations, $7,300 in revenue, phenomenal. And that was his first full week with the company. So kicking butt, taking names, that's awesome, Clint. Congratulations, man. Really proud of you, bud. And then tied for second and third is Kevin Deverell and Bobby Moore. I think that was also Bobby's first week as well. And both of those gentlemen grossed $6,500 in revenue. Really proud of you guys. Way to get out there and smash it. So weekly individual gross average for active drivers. So anybody that took a load this week and was out on the road, the weekly average was $4,870 per truck. High being Clint, obviously at $7,300, and the lowest producer, we won't mention your name, $3,100. But I will say that driver was in the top 3 last week. So chances are he probably was out for 2 weeks and maybe took a little bit of a longer weekend. So, you know, high 73, low at 3,100. Average is 48.70 and 59 cents. That's super solid. Our average dollar per mile, so our total miles last week, 43,131 miles. Total gross, $82,800. Again, over 80% of that paid back out to you guys. Our average dollar per mile was $1.92, and that's total miles. Our line haul dollar per mile was over $2 a mile average. Now, here's an interesting stat that I like to keep in mind, is that the one driver had a low dollar per mile of $1.32 per mile, but they also had a high of $2.30 a mile, just one driver. So you can see that big swing in there, and that driver ended up grossing, I think, over $5,500. I think they might have even grossed over $6,000, but I don't want to say for sure because I don't know off the top of my head, but definitely over $5,000. So, you know, I just want to say this, you know, to our team and to you guys that are out there on the road. The older I get and the more that we do this, the more I appreciate the value that over-the-road truck drivers and truck drivers as a whole bring to our economy, to our country. I often tell people that without our industry and without you out on the road, we would be naked, in a field hungry, because everything we eat, everything we wear, and every building that we step in, all is there because a trucker did their part and did their job. And I value you guys so much. I thank you guys so much. I want to see you guys make as much money as possible. I want to see your families prosperous. I want to see your life and your health prosperous. And this is the time to be running right now. Summertime is always the time to be making money. This is where rates are generally the highest. I mean, we just came out of a season of this Corona thing and rates plummeted. I mean, it was crazy during that time, right? And now money is up. This is not the time to be relaxing. This is not the time to be like, cool, I made $5,000 this week or $5,500. Let me go home again this weekend. Let me have a 3-day weekend, because we don't know what's going to happen with the economy. I don't think that we've seen the full expression of how COVID impacted our economy. This is the time to make hay while the sun is shining. If your trailer is broken down, let us know. We'll get you another trailer. We have one of our guys at trailer is broken down, missed 2.5 weeks, like literally 2.5 of the best weeks of the year so far. Like, it's worth it. Rent a trailer for $125 a week. Get out there, make yourself $3,000, $2,500. Like, this is the time to push it. This is the time to make the most as you possibly can. Be safe. Be in balance with your family, keep your spouses happy, keep your children happy, find that balance with your dispatcher, but push the needle, man. Put your foot on the pedal, do as much as you can to make as much as you can, because when we go into the slower seasons of this year and the beginning of next year, you'll look back on this time thankful that you made the most out of this season. We've got some company updates for you guys. So some of your dispatchers have been asking you for your photos. So we want to keep some photos of you guys, so that way when we shout you guys out on the top 3 or the top 5 or whatever the case is, we can throw your photo up there. We can put some faces to these names. Plus, I like to see you guys. I like to meet you guys. Some of you I get to talk to on the phone. Some of you I haven't gotten a chance to talk to yet. But either way, it's really nice being able to put a face to the name and to the conversation. So send us your photos in. Keep them PG or whatever. We don't want anything too crazy. But we definitely want to be able to see you guys and to see your personality. And we got some neat things that we're going to be doing coming up around the corner with that as well too. So this week we're also going to see IFTA deductions for second quarter. So if you guys don't know how IFTA works, just a real quick refresher on that. The FMCSA, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Association, they require that we log miles by state and gallons by state, and we also parse those out into drivers. So we know how many gallons you bought individually in what states, we know how many miles you drove individually in each state, and then they have a tax computation that determines like, hey, if you drove too many miles and didn't buy enough fuel, then you owe a tax for that state, because basically the long and the short of it is a tax on the fuel is what goes to repair the roads. So if you're driving a lot through a state and you're never buying fuel in that state still needs to be able to recoup some of that tax money back to be able to repair the roads. So that's why we have IFTA, the International Fuel Tax Agreement. So we're, obviously through our systems, we have to keep track of how many miles you drive in what states and how many gallons you drive in each state. And they compute it in with your mile per gallon with your fuel efficiency, which again, we have all drilled down to an individual basis. So this is the most fair reporting that you could ever imagine for IFTA. It takes into consideration your fuel economy. It takes into consideration your exact mileage in states and your exact gallons per state. This is not a generalized reporting. This is an exact reporting. So the more you buy fuel in your states that you drive through, the less IFTA tax that you're going to have to do, that you're going to have to pay. But overall, they're not too terrible for 3 months. You'll see a report produced with your settlement report this week. So you guys are going to get that breakdown. Also, moving forward this week and beyond, that IFTA deduction is going to be calculated and baked into your fuel purchase every week. So it's generally like $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, and it's going to be built right into your fuel costs. And it'll be a report as well too. You'll be able to see it. We want to be very transparent about all the data, all the costs, all the expenses. You're a business owner and you should be on top of your data. I'll cover that in a minute here, but you should be on top of your numbers. All we're doing is we're just providing them to you. We're doing all the math. We're calculating them all for you. you, but we're giving you the numbers for your books. You should still be on top of your business and knowing how all of those things are working. So we'll give you the report. We'll let you know, what that report is on a weekly basis. And it's a lot of information, a lot of data. So we'll probably provide it for you guys for a few weeks, but then make it available for you upon request whenever you guys want it. So pretty excited that that's being handled that way, and it'll be really easy for you. So this is the last quarter that you're going to get a quarterly deduction for IFTA for whatever, $100, $200, $150. Moving forward, you're just going to see it as a weekly $6, $7, $8, $9 or whatever it ends up being. And if there's a credit due to you, you'll see the credit due to you in there as well too. It'll all be recorded for you guys on your fuel settlement report portion of your settlement reports. Also, for those of you that manage your own IFTA account, you'll get a quarterly report this week as well in your email. So there's a few drivers that manage your own IFTA accounts. We'll go ahead and send you your gallons by state and your miles by state, so you could submit them into your own IFTA account, no problem, and you guys can pay that note on your own. And then that'll still be a quarterly report for you guys, or it can be monthly, whatever you request. You just let us know. And then finally, with updates, we really want to encourage you guys, please read your settlement reports. We take the time to make sure that all of this data and all this information is being properly and easily portrayed for you to understand. That's part of the value of Brave Freight and what we bring to you, is that we do all of the calculations for you. We manage all of the payments for you, and we want you to still know your numbers. You're still a business owner. You're not a steering wheel holder. You're not just an average Joe Schmo truck driver. You are an independent owner operator with your own business, and you're scaling your business, you're growing your business, you're looking how to become more profitable. So it's important that you look at your settlement report every week, see how your cash flow comes in, see where your expenses grow, keep track of if you owe money in escrow or if you have money in maintenance, keep track of these different elements. You're still a business owner, and make sure the numbers are right. Like, they're from our system, they're a easy calculation in our system, but hey, maybe somebody got a hold of your fuel card and made an unapproved purchase, or whatever the case is. You need to be on top of that, and you need to know, because we're just dealing with the data that's coming in. It's still important for you to be on top of your information, and we want you to be. That's why we've made it so clear and so transparent and easy for you to understand. So if you're not sure and something doesn't make sense to you, please ask us, ask your dispatcher, ask Ryan, ask your driver dispatch coach. We have no problem making sure that all of this information is very clear and easily understood by you. We want to be up and up with all of that. So those are some updates for you with the company. We've got some things coming in the pipeline in the future that I am very stoked about. So as a business owner myself, and reviewing our company numbers and going over our books and all this different stuff, there's this whole field that I didn't even know existed about 2 years ago called BI&A, which is Business Insight and Analytics. Basically, it's how to make decisions within your business that are going to increase to the most lean profitability. And that's what we do as a company. We're unlike any other company that's out there that I know of in this industry, any other carrier, and we really respect you as a business owner, and we're here to give you the tools and help give you the information that's too difficult or challenging or really not worth your time to do on your own. So next week, we're going to have a rough draft of a KPI report that you guys are going to get every single week with your settlement report. So what is a KPI report? A KPI report is key performance indicators, and we're going to be taking in all of the data that we have for you and your businesses out there, whether you own one truck that's leased on with us, or whether you're an owner of 3 or 4 trucks and you provide the drivers for them. We're going to give you per truck breakdown and entire mini fleet breakdown if you're one of the few people that own multiple trucks, and we're going to give you a cost per mile breakdown for every single one of the units. What do I mean by that? Is we know all of your total mileage, we know your total fuel purchases, we know the total carrier costs, insurance costs, truck rental cost, or trailer rental cost, or maintenance cost, or toll cost, or whatever costs that you've incurred that run through Brave Freight that we help manage for you. We're going to take all of those costs and we're going to break them down to a cent per mile cost. This is really exciting when you think about how you can now determine what your profitability is. If you know that for every mile you drive, it costs you 72 cents, Well, you know where your profitability is. You know how you can take on another truck. You know how you can hire another driver or whatever the case is. You have real data that allows you to be able to make a decision for your business to find out how to be the most profitable. So really excited about that. It's gonna come out next week. It's gonna be easy to understand. We're gonna have the weekly top 5, so you're gonna see who the top 5 performers are. We're gonna have quarterly top 5, so you're gonna be able to see the top 5 producers every single quarter that's gonna be, that's gonna be released. And we're gonna do some cool incentives for you guys. We're gonna, I wanna hear from you. I'll send out a survey probably later this week. What kind of merchandise would you guys like to win if we did incentives? Do you guys want a cooler for your truck? Do you guys want a refrigerator? Do you guys want merch? Do you guys want hoodies? Do you guys want comfortable clothes? Do you guys want special shoes? What do you guys want? Do you guys want a vacation in Florida? What do you guys want? I want to hear from you guys, and we're going to be doing some really neat incentives to help you guys not just make a lot of money, but enjoy the process, be part of the team, be part of the family here at Brave Freight, and and just make the most of it. So this is going to be a great week. Get out there and crush it.